After a first season filled with intense competition and personal achievements, the journey continues for our extraordinary humans on the UTMB World Series.
If you are a trail runner, you have to take part one time in your life.
To just show them what is possible.
Oh my God, I can do it.
It hurts. It's really hard. You have to be really determined.
I don't think that performance would have happened without her.
And right now, I'm gonna try the trail races.
Season 2 begins in Radda in Chianti, Italy. The Tuscan Hills welcome over 4,500 runners from 81 nationalities on the Chianti Ultra Trail by UTMB.
As long as you keep running, anything can happen.
Yeah, the goal is to try to get the ticket.
Because of the 2 tickets, it's going to be really competitive.
The motivation is just to find a competitive race.
Today we're going to discover this beautiful region.
I entered this race partly because it have a really strong female field.
Tenemos la oportunidad de conseguir 2 golden tickets.
Hi, I'm Kilian Jornet, trail runner, mountaineer. I'm 37 years old. I have been running for over 20 years and have achieved some good results, winning some races as UTMB. I'm here in Chianti today, but it was a last-moment decision. More than 1 week ago, Emily, my wife, and I became parents for the 3rd time. So in the last 2 weeks, I haven't been training at all, but it's been good because that's a good tapering. Family was good, and I decided to come here.
Hi, I'm Vincent Bouillard from Annecy, France. I'm about to run the 120K of Chianti by UTMB. I now have a hybrid contract with part-time in footwear innovation engineering. And I also have a professional athlete contract with Hoka. I've never been to Tuscany. That's the main reason. I was really excited to come to a race that early in the calendar to hopefully face a very competitive field.
Hi, I'm Jim Walmsley. I'm a runner for Hoka from the US in Flagstaff, and I'm the reigning Western States champion. Last year I didn't get a race in before Western States, so I think that race really beat me up.
The goal is to try to get the Western States golden ticket, to try to go there. If I do that, I will be super, super happy.
I had heard that there were 2 tickets on this race, and so I thought, well, because of the 2 tickets, it's going to be really competitive. And that's what motivated me to come at first. And then, yeah, I'm coming to try and get my tickets. If I get it, I will prepare for Western States, but my major focus is really to compete and do my best, and we'll see what happens.
I didn't get a golden ticket. I have the M1 bib for this year. The motivation is just to find a competitive race, which this is going to be.
Guys like Jim, Vincent, he's very strong, he's been preparing well. That will make the race very challenging.
Alongside a strong elite field, nearly 600 runners are at the start of the 100-mile race in Radda in Chianti at 4 a.m.
A lot of really strong runners on the start line. Jim is a great friend. He's one of my closest friends, so it's very special for sure to line up with him. And Kilian is a legend and icon of this sport and way beyond in sport in general. So yeah, it's definitely very special and reinforced the excitement to be here.
Ciao, I'm Matteo, the race director of Chianti Ultra Trail by UTMB. I'm even the inventor of this race. From the beginning, my idea was to show my territory to the world. How is a journey in the history, in the nature, in the tradition of this place. In fact, Chianti was born as a military place, so we have a lot of castles of the Middle Age. We organized the race connecting all this kind of castle. In fact, we would like to tell the history of Chianti. At the same time, the runner will meet the actual place, the farmhouse, the vineyard, like gardens. So it's a place very amazing. But even the track aren't not easy. A lot of people can think about Chianti or Tuscany, about the sweet hills, cypress, sweet roads. So in fact, Chianti is not that. And here we have a very mix of different foods, different flora, different nature. So it's a very lot of scenery during the race. And I think it's even a big feature of this kind of race.
The course covers 120 kilometers with 5,200 meters of elevation gain through picturesque hills and vineyards.
Okay. Hello, my name is Fiona Pascal. I'm an ultra runner for Salomon UK. I'm 35 years old and I have been ultra running for 3 years now.
Hola, soy Azara García Los Salmones, corredora profesional del equipo HGM Team. He sido 2 veces campeona del mundo, una campeona de Europa y vengo desde Cantabria a correr en Chianti el ultra de 120 kilómetros.
I entered this race partly because it's a golden ticket race, but that was more because I wanted it to be very competitive. I want to enter races that scare me and that have a really strong female field, and this is definitely going to be the case tomorrow.
Hi, my name is Abby Hall and I'm a professional trail runner for Adidas Terrex. I am 34 years old and I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona in the United States. It's really special for me to be back here. I spent a lot of time in this area when I was younger and will go to all corners of the earth to pursue a golden ticket, which is what brought me here to Chianti.
Pues el año pasado quedé enamorada de esta carrera. Es un tipo de carrera que a mi perfil de corredora se adapta muy bien. Me gusta mucho que se pueda correr, zonas de pisteo, que no sea muy técnica la carrera y luego que es una maravilla correr en la zona de la Toscana.
I think this course has a lot. It ranges from fast dirt road to like muddy and technical single track and everything in between.
Y este año volvimos. También es verdad que además el añadido de que este año aquí tenemos la oportunidad de conseguir 2 Golden Tickets para la Western States y eso también, bueno, pues creo que atrae todavía más.
my name is Luke. I'm from the United Kingdom, and I guess my best two trail results, I won UTMB Major Val d'Aran 100k last year, and I came 8th at UTMB CCC. It might be hard to believe, but 6.5 years ago, I was lying in a hospital bed. I'd just been told I had stage 4 cancer. It was incredibly rare, and the doctor said it was incurable, and I thought I was going to be dead in a few months. And so it's just incredible to be alive today, and exercise and running has been such a huge part of that journey, and I really think it's been one of the most important things that has sort of kept my mind strong and my body strong ever since that point. And it kind of led me on this completely different journey. I cycled on a tandem bike from the UK to China with other people who had cancer, and I think that gave me just this huge diesel engine that allowed me to run these long distances, and you know, I just love being able to run trail races now. It's amazing. Thanks for your support.
Yes.
I think it's a real privilege to be in a race where there is some very established names, and I want to see what I can do, and you know, I want to go and try and make my mark. Anything can happen to anyone, so I think that's one of the exciting things, that you just have to be in the race, and as long as you keep running, you know, anything can happen. My objective coming to this race is to see if I can get a golden ticket and, you know, see if I can cause a bit of an upset, so we'll see if I can do that.
The lead group are staying neck and neck at the start, with the top 3 men reaching the first aid station together.
I thought there would be a bigger group a little longer in the race, but it felt fine. Like, I felt really good this first part.
I think I was within 2 or 3 minutes of the lead pack, so it was all very tight at that point. And I was just thinking, I know what I can do over this kind of terrain and this kind of vertical in terms of minute per kilometer, in terms of pace. And I was looking at my watch and I was thinking, if they can do better than what I'm doing now, then they'd beat me. So I was just running at my pace.
Much of the beginning of the race was staying warm enough and just managing, not making any mistakes. And then we get to the first crew checkpoint, about 37K, I think. So that's kind of the opportunity to reset and just make sure everything is good. And mentally, I was looking at maybe where the race begins.
You know, the top 3 had taken it out pretty hard, and so I was like, you know, in a really good position to either, you know, push on, or if something happens to one of them, you know, I'm right there for, like, hopefully a podium finish. So I was, you know, I was happy with how I took that out.
Je m'appelle Lambert Santelli, j'ai 37 ans. Je viens d'un petit village en Corse qui s'appelle Lavatoge. Les résultats desquels je suis assez fier quand même, c'est j'ai fait une belle course à Madère, c'était en 2023. J'avais gagné le Mute. Le Restonica Trail que j'ai gagné à plusieurs reprises. Quand même ma course de cœur parce que voilà, c'est à la maison, c'est une course quand même emblématique pour nous en Corse. Et bien sûr le record du GR20, c'était pas une course, mais il y a toute une histoire derrière tout ça et plusieurs années de préparation. Donc c'est vrai que le record du GR, c'est la chose de laquelle je suis le plus fier. Je suis là avec ma femme et mes 2 enfants. C'est vrai que nous, on a J'ai un restaurant, je suis saisonnier, on est ouvert pendant 6 mois et après en pleine saison, si je bouge, c'est toujours très rapide. Quand je pars faire une course, ça dure 2 jours, jamais plus. Et ma femme et mes enfants ne peuvent pas m'accompagner. Donc là, le fait que le restaurant soit encore fermé, on peut partir en famille. Donc c'est sympa et voilà, c'est sûr que le fait qu'ils soient là, ça porte. Chianti, c'est un parcours très roulant, donc ça va être très rapide. C'est vrai que je suis plus typé sur des parcours de montagne où il y a des gros dénivelés, c'est plus ce qui me plaît. Mais voilà, moi j'aime bien sortir de ma zone de confort et faire un peu autre chose. Et voilà, après j'espère tirer mon épingle du jeu, on va dire, peut-être en gérant, en étant prudent. Et puis après, c'est vrai qu'au bout de tant d'heures, de 7, 8, 9 heures d'effort, je pense que tout le monde va être un peu fatigué à relancer tout le temps. Mais je pense qu'en restant sage, il y a peut-être moyen sur la seconde partie de ramasser un peu des morts. On verra.
At around the 40-kilometre mark, it got technical. There was a technical climb, quite a big climb as well. And I wasn't forcing it, I wasn't pushing, I was just keeping my pace, running where I could. And I think I overtook Abby at that point.
The weather was on my side because in Finland we have this kind of weather as well, a lot of rain and cold and windy. So I felt myself very comfortable with that weather.
Soon after we actually started hitting our first big climb, I was planning on just sticking with Vincent and Kilian at that point, but I was able to just have a gap created, and I think ideally it's too early to run by myself, but I think I was finding a really good rhythm, so I went with it a bit.
I ended up sharing a lot of the race with Kilian, and we were passing each other back and forth, and we talked and said like, hey, it's good that we help each other in that way, because Jim was very far ahead already at the end of the first marathon, I guess.
Vincent Bouillard and Kilian Jornet arrived together at the Cantalice aid station, while Jim Walmsley holds an 8-minute lead as he pulls ahead in the Monteluco climb.
Rather quickly, actually, I started to have stomach problems. Then I just had to take that into consideration, and that definitely, well, yes, it slowed me down, but it's part of the race. And I guess the most scary part was that it was affecting my fueling and my capacity to eat.
The next aid station I came in with Azara. We were right next to each other. We ran together for quite a long time. And I was kind of very aware that she was right there. So yeah, I was pushing a little bit there.
Back in Radda and Chianti, runners of the 20K are enjoying the last rest day before the race starts.
Hello, I'm Natalia Mastrota. I'm a runner from Italy. I'm part of the team Dacia. And today we're going to discover this beautiful region. is very traditional, the Butteri of Maremma, which is more south, and where we are there's a Palio di Siena, so there's a big gastronomical culture and also breeding culture because we have a lot of meat. Chianina is very famous. Buonissimo. I'm here in Radda to run the 20K of the UTMB circuit. I'm very excited. It's going to be a really fast race. So today we do a small warm-up. And this is a typical warm-up for Tuscany, so we're going horse riding. This will be my horse?
Yes, this will be your horse. His name is Glauco.
Okay.
Born and raised in Tuscany.
Born and raised in Tuscany, so
yeah.
Let's get him ready. Usually we do horse riding maybe after to relax, and today we're going before. Hopefully the horses will be very nice with us and we're gonna have fun. So Sunday race, it will be very fast for me. I'm not really fast runner because I like to run 100K, but it's good. I mean, it's good for the start of the season because then I have a really long season. So to start 20K, I think it's enough, and it will permit me to still discover some of this land.
Midway through the 100-mile course, the race is taking an exciting turn.
Jim, all right, so they were eight minutes behind at the last aid station. Okay. Do you want salt? What can I get you?
Yeah, I should take some salt.
Okay, 1 or 2?
2.
Okay.
From aid station to aid station, each time I heard a split, it was always bigger. How long to the next one?
Okay.
This is 6.
Got it. This is 6, 7. I'll see you at Abola, so in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, keep eating. Yeah, love you too. Hi, Jim!
And I thought I was running comfortable and pretty conservative, so this was really positive, and yeah, so the shape and the legs were really good.
Suffering from TFL syndrome, Kylian Jornet keeps pushing and pursues his goal. Vincent Bouillard is less than a minute behind him.
Allez. Hi, how are you?
Managing to summit.
Okay. This is caffeinated.
Okay.
Non-caff. Do you need anything else, my love?
No, I think.
You're doing great. Kylian just left maybe 15 seconds ago. Jim's about 20 minutes up. You got it.
Moi, j'ai opté pour la stratégie de rester un petit peu plus prudent, rester un peu en retrait. Et je pense que j'ai bien fait parce que ceux qui sont allés devant avec eux, ils ont explosé. J'ai vu quand j'ai rattrapé Andreas, j'ai rattrapé un Britannique qui était parti devant. Je pense qu'ils se sont un peu brûlés parce que voilà, c'est un autre niveau et on peut pas lutter. Donc voilà, moi j'ai gardé une stratégie un peu plus prudente. Je suis resté un peu derrière et puis j'en ai ramassé jusqu'à revenir juste derrière, jusqu'à revenir 4e.
And, you know, for the first 50, 60K, I was more or less in the mix and in a position, hopefully, to go on and deliver a really good second half. But obviously that didn't happen. But I left that 60K aid station and started running down quite a steep descent, and like every step was a sort of shooting pain. The muscles in my legs had just been given up. Like I hadn't prepared them well enough. So at that point it was like, yeah, my race to be competitive was over. This is a great day out. Don't eat a fly because then your eyes swell up. You know, my goal isn't just to simply finish. I'm trying to like excel. is a luxury to be able to say, well, I'm not going to finish this race, but I am going to focus on the next race, and so I'm going to DNF.
Between the 52-kilometre aid station and the 70-ish kilometre station, she was with me the whole time. I could see her all the time. So that was quite stressful. There was no space for relaxation at any point. I had to keep my foot down.
Reaching Gaiole in Chianti in third, Azara Garcia is only 3 minutes behind the leading women's duo.
Buongiorno, sono Elena, mi occupo dei ristori dal 2018 della Chianti Ultra Trail. Da 2 anni ormai siamo entrati anche nel circuito UTMB. Sono stata coinvolta da mio figlio Matteo, che ha inventato questa gara a Radda in Chianti. Anche lui, con l'aiuto di un amico, ha inventato questa gara e quindi io l'ho aiutato, perché tutte le mamme aiutano i figli e quindi non potevo dirgli di no. E da lì abbiamo iniziato a ricercare un po' i prodotti nostri, tipici della nostra zona, in particolar modo di Radda, e lì si va sull'olio e sul vino, che sono effettivamente di produzione addirittura proprio della nostra famiglia. L'olio di nostra produzione proprio della nostra famiglia. Mio fratello produce questo olio ormai da tantissimi anni. Abbiamo i nostri cantuccini toscani con le mandorle, questi saranno utilizzati per il ristoro finale. Prosciutto e salame, che sono prodotti tipici della nostra zona. Posso far vedere? Questo. I punti di ristoro li facciamo come se noi li facessimo a casa nostra.
We started on Saturday at 4 o'clock. I tried to eat as I eat normally, but in the evening a bit less than normally, because I wanted to feel my body more light.
Really, the night before, you should be almost like emptying your system more than anything and try and be lean, and because you're going to eat a lot and ingest a lot of nutrition during your race.
Whether I had a pancake at 2 a.m. or I didn't have a pancake at 2 a.m., like, that wasn't going to be the thing that made my race a success or not.
For nutrition, in days ahead of the race, I tend to try and keep things as normal as possible, because I found that the more you try and change and adapt, the more you're likely to do mistakes and maybe make your body upset about certain things.
My nutrition plan during the race is very difficult. Sometimes it works, sometimes not.
Increasing his advantage, Jim Walmsley runs through the Villa Vistareni aid station nearly 30 minutes ahead of his competitors.
Yeah, how you doing?
Fiona Pascal maintains her lead, but she's closely followed by Johanna Antila, just 4 minutes behind. Azara Garcia holds to her third position.
One thing that's for sure is the 100-mile distance is still something that's very new for me. I'm still a beginner in the sport of ultra trail. I've done it for many years, really, sometimes not in competition. But having a serious performance training approach is something that is still rather new, and racing on those distances at this level is very, very new. So I'm still, while leaning into a competitive approach, I also am very, I guess, humble in saying like, yeah, I have a lot of things to learn.
With 25 kilometers to go, the race for the golden tickets intensifies at the Castello di Albola aid station, putting pressure on both the men and women to fight for a spot on the podium.
The last parts of the race was about not pushing too much to not create any bigger problems for myself, and then finally hitting the last descent, which is almost 15K. That kind of happens pretty quickly, and I knew if I could get to that point, that was kind of my escape to make it to the finish line without any issues.
We entered the last third of the course, but that's where, yeah, just chatting with Kilian a little bit when we were passing each other, and him helping me on the climbs, me helping him maybe on the flat and downhill sections. So we've been able to remain confident that we would, fight for second place, but at least sit in those spots of second and third place, which ultimately both of us were targeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge celebration for the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, the king of Chianti Ultra Trail for UTMB. Here we go, representing the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Walmsley.
Jim Walmsley closed the loop in an impressive 9 hours, 59 minutes, and 48 seconds. While the battle for second place steps up between Vincent Bouillard and Kilian Jornet.
Maybe in the last hour, as we start the last downhill, we say, okay, it's still a race, still competitors, and here to finish. I brought it up and saying if we're racing, I have to make my move earlier, because if we wait the last climb, he was faster than me on all the climbs. So knowing that the finish was the climb up to the town here in Rada.
Allez Vincent.
And now let's get ready people, because the legend is here! All together, make some noise for Kilian Jornet! In the third position, put your hands together for France, Pierre-Yves Vincent Bouillard! Kilian Jornet managed to stop the clock in 10 hours, 27 minutes and 27 seconds. 30 seconds behind Vincent Bouillard. What a battle between those two heroes.
This race has been incredible. Like honestly, I was this last this last half hour of racing is gonna be a core memory of mine. Like incredible. Like I was telling Kilian, I was laughing out loud, and he's like.
He was putting like 10 big attacks. Like he was like, oh, I was there like, why that?
After a historical battle, the podium is complete with Kilian Jornet and Vincent Bouillard respectively in second and third place. In the women's race, Fiona Pascal increases her lead on Johanna Antila.
I was very uncomfortable for the last 50 kilometers. Yeah, I was expecting to see Johanna just all of the time because I know with all of these women, they're fast and they're good at ultra and they don't slow down.
I started to feel that now I need to do more and I need to push myself a bit.
Still in third, Azara Garcia manages her effort.
There's so much passion in this race, especially with it being a golden ticket. They all really wanted it and they all know how to race.
I can really push myself to the end. Quite often I ask myself, do I have some problem? And if I say no, then I just run and go.
And there's a lot of vertical, just in that last, there's a sort of 10 kilometer descent and then 5 kilometers of just up, down, up, down, up, down. So that last 5 kilometers was so hard. And then we're on the other side of the valley, so you can see Chianti and you can see that you have to go down and then back up again. I was like, no, please let that not be Chianti. Please let Chianti be just round the corner and I don't have to go down and back up. So yeah, that last climb was just absolutely brutal.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first female at the finish line.
Fiona Pascal wins the women's race in 12 hours, 34 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to celebrate the second place of Chianti Ultra Trail by UTMB 100 miles. Make some noise for Johanna Attila! Third place, the winner of last year, Chianti Ultra Trail by UTMB, and now she's in the third position, Azara Garcia de los Salmones.
It was awesome. It was such a cool course, and being up in the clouds was really cool. So the weather actually, it made it interesting.
It's now time for the Chianti Half Trail, 20 kilometers and 850 meters of elevation gain, starting at 8:15 a.m. from Radda in Chianti with some of the world's fastest trail runners.
We started all really fast because it was just 20K, but with 800 of elevation. And they all started, and the first turn we all fell. It was really muddy, and then you needed to push, and then there was like some runnable parts, and then some very steep climbs with a lot of mud, but this is trail running, so I really enjoy it, even if it's very muddy, and I had a lot of fun. When I was a kid, I liked to be in the mud and to play, so why not now? This 20K was really fast, so I could actually see some of the castles from far away and some vineyards, so I really enjoyed it, and it was really hilly run, so there was small climbs and big downhills, and there was also really a bit of sunshine, so it was really, really nice. In 9th position, and I'm really happy. Usually I like to run 100K, but this is really good for me to put some speed for the next races. So now I think I'm going to shower because the situation is really bad. And then I think we're going to enjoy some typical food and maybe try some wine because I didn't try it yet. And then we're slightly going home, but I like to spend some time here because I really enjoy Tuscany.